And the things they said were so terrible, in my opinion. And I would say in the opinions of other people with D.I.D. I mean, it would have been better to put a disclaimer saying, we are not medical doctors, we are not psychiatrists, psychologists, we are people giving an opinion. The things that they said were just so disgusting and wrong. So one of the claims they made was about false. Hold on a second, sorry. Just trying to get my bed all comfy because I started to not feel too good last night or this morning. Well, it was a couple days ago, but it started to be worse then. So they were talking about the false memories, which I believe is a scam to get people to believe that what people say isn't true, whether it's about Satanism or about sexual abuse, etc. And I just can't believe people would use that in that way, and saying it's hard to believe the things that this person Sybil said. And I'm not going to say the real name. You can look it up if you want to, but they were saying that, maybe Sybil and the doctor and Maria Schreiber wanted to, get a deal going so they can make money and blah, blah, blah. And, from what I understand, the person called Sybil in the movies and the book and such was pretty much pushed into this. And, they're like calling dissociative identity disorder a fad that people didn't even know about it till people didn't even have it until this came out, and then all of a sudden they had it. I mean, the psychiatric and psychologic communities cannot even come into agreement about it, which ends up making it worse all around. Christians call it demonic, demons. These people were talking about comparing it to alien abductions, which, by the way, aliens are demons. It really burned me up. It really made me angry. I just don't understand how people could talk like this and just be like, well, it sounds too far-fetched. It sounds, all the abuse she talked about, it's possible this happened, but these other things couldn't have happened. And just, they're talking about lesbian orgies with teenage girls that Sybil's mother supposedly did. Look, it's not a lesbian orgy, it's sexual abuse. When you do something to a minor that is wrong, like abuse, whether it's emotional abuse, mental abuse, verbal abuse, sexual abuse, physical abuse, and I even have one that I think about sometimes, which is emotional neglect, which is, in my opinion, abuse as well. Just people don't mention it. But I believe it's emotional neglect. I believe that's abuse too. How could they say such ugly things? How could they say that? Like it was some orgy, like those girls wanted it to happen. I mean, let's say it did happen. Okay, let's just say for a minute that it did happen. Do you think that teenagers want to be abused? I don't care if it's 1-on-1 or 5-on-1 or 1-on-6 or 1-on-8. It's still abuse and it's wrong. They are minors. How dare someone say that? I tell you what, they're talking about McMartin and how these children said this stuff. I'm just going over to the door so I can look at the next thing on my list. Why didn't they put on the video disclaimer? We are not psychologists, we are not So we're not psychiatrists, we're not psychologists, we're not medical doctors. We are just people with opinions, and they are probably going to be wrong. I mean, the things I said, lesbian orgies with teenagers, that's called sexual abuse, not lesbian orgies. It makes you want to be sick. Orgies are things people do because they want to, maybe, or maybe not. But like I said, if they don't want to do it, then it's called sexual abuse. It's called rape. Do you know how to say rape? Rape, R-A-P, is evil. 13 o'clock is just to put doubt out there, to put clouds of doubt over people and go, oh, D.I.D isn't real. Do you think it's real? I don't think it's real. It's just a fad. People that have been supposedly abused, they're not really abused. All these personalities in one person. How can that be true? Just satanic doubt. Oh. How dare they say stuff like that? They don't even know what they're saying. And I can forgive them because that's what Jesus says I should do. But at the same time, I want to expose the stuff that they're saying and doing. We can't always know what's going to happen, but I just think that it's just sad, the things that they've said. Well, what about the false memory syndrome? I mean, come on. That is just a way to get people to believe that children talking about satanic stuff, like McMartin, for example. They brought up McMartin. How could that be? McMartin happened. They just don't want you to believe it. Look at the Hasidic Jewish temple, as they call it, Hasidic temple. Look at what was under there. We don't even know half of what was under there. A fourth of what was under there. Oh, why? It was there in the first place. Why does this stuff keep getting swept under the rug? Because people don't want us to know the truth. People don't want us to see what's going on, what's really going on. They don't want us to see the truth. They just want us to stay in a delusion and just stay that way. I'm a Christian, and I know dissociative identity disorder is real. And the reason why people don't know that they have it is because people can't come in one accord, psychiatrists and psychologists, and come together and say, okay, this is real. No, they would rather put doubt in people's minds. Oh, I don't believe dissociative identity disorder is real, blah, 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 blah. No, but when you have it, when you find out you have it, it suddenly becomes so real. It's like a brick in your face, like a brick wall in your face. They're walking and all of a sudden, bam, in your face. That's one thing that really bothers me. I told someone recently, and they said, well, a lot of things are stigmatized. People make jokes about a lot of things. Well, okay, do people make jokes about heart disease? No. Cancer? No. Bipolar? No. So why dissociative identity disorder? And they were saying personalities. They are people, not personalities. I can understand if they're just basing this off their opinion and they really don't know anything about it. Then say that. Hello, this is 13 o'clock, and we are giving our opinions, which are nothing really. We don't know anything about this. We're just telling you what we think when we're watching the movie. Okay, well then, that's different. But to come across as somebody who, like, well, it sounds like it's too far-fetched. Give me a break. Give me a break. So someone tells you, just for an instance, for example, like my grandfather raped me 50 times when I was 3 years old. Oh, that's impossible. How could he do that? Every day, almost every day of a certain week, it would happen. Then he'd skip a few days and it would happen again. Oh, that's impossible. I'm not saying it happened. I'm just saying, for example, just for an example. Like, he did it 50 days in a row, or he did it every day for like a month in a row, or whatever the case is, or he did it my whole like childhood from when I was 1 to 5, or 2 to 6, or 1 to 8. You know what I'm saying? And people would just say, "That's so hard to believe. That's so hard to believe." That's what causes dissociative identity disorder in the first place. Trauma. What? Then they talk about the doctor. Well, she doesn't sound like a quack. Have you heard the tape recordings of what this person was doing to the person who came in? And what they were saying to them and doing to them? Giving them shots of sodium pentothal, putting them in hypnotizing them. She wasn't a quack. She won awards and accolades. There's lots of people who are Satanists who go around killing people and eating children and such, and they get awards. Does that mean you're not quacks? Does that mean you're not Satanists? Excuse me for